Guys, welcome to another episode of the Tampa Bay Real Producers Podcast. This, of course, is the podcast that is made for real producers, by real producers, and with none other than Tampa Bay's real producers and the partners of Tampa Bay Real Producers. And today we get to actually continue our partner series. Our guest today is Mr. JC Sommer. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no doubt. Excited to have you here. JC is a branch manager with Cardinal Financial. And so JC has been a partner now of our platform for over a year, I guess coming up on 2 years, I want to say.
Yeah.
Right around that time frame. So we're going to dive into JC's story and what he has to offer in the Cardinal Financial world to all of our listeners and all of the people who follow our podcast. So JC, why don't we start a little bit just again for people who might not know you. Just on your background, did you grow up in this area? If not, how'd you find your way to Tampa Bay? And of course, what is it about mortgages that got you interested at some point? So let's start there.
Cool, thank you. So I was actually born in Wisconsin. Family moved here when we were younger. So I've pretty much grown up in the area, which I think is probably a big portion of how I've been able to build relationships with people and maintain those for so many years. And that just translated into the mortgage world when we got there.
Yep.
Finance is my background. Starting at 18, went right into the banking world. So personal banking, business banking, became a vice president branch manager at a pretty young age. Did it for about 6 years, but got a little bored. And said I thought there was a little bit more out there for me and not being locked in the office. So no better business in real estate than making your own schedule and, working with the people you want to work with.
Yeah. Did you go to school in Florida or so you went to college here?
Well, I actually did a little bit of college here, but for me, the real world was where I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the people. So I did not spend as much time in college as probably could have, but I jumped right into the finance banking. And
that was in Tampa?
That was right here in Tampa,
okay.
Yeah. I've worked everything from Sarasota, Clearwater, Tampa.
Okay, cool. And so a lot of the network that it sounds like you built through the banking background, at some point, did somebody approach you about mortgages or real estate, or was that always kind of a plan, or how did that connection happen?
Actually, a great question. I have a mentor. His name is Mike Alea. Currently, he works still in the mortgage business over in Bel Air Bluffs, but I do give a lot of credit to his constant pursuit of telling me that I could do more than banking, and mortgages probably would be where it's at, financially, independent time frame, and just, for a knack of being able to talk to people, he's like, that's where you want to be. And it took him a little bit of time to convince me, but finally he did, and I jumped 2 feet in. So I give a lot of credit to my mentor. That's
key. We see that a lot, actually, in a lot of these interviews, is the power of a mentor, and wherever that might come. And if you don't have one out there, that might be a great one to look for, right? Is just finding that person who is already advanced, they're ahead of you in a certain industry and has achieved something. There's a lot of power in having that guidance, from someone. It seems like you had that too.
Well, when people tell you that they believe in you, it takes a little bit of time to hear that.
No doubt.
Eventually you buy into that and you say, you know what, I really do think I can do that. And with somebody that leads you a little bit and guides you in the beginning, that's kind of the difference sometimes in this business. When you have somebody that can guide you versus people that go out there with no guidance, no leadership, and it's a little bit of a struggle then to do it. But if you have that person, then you're lucky.
Was it a challenging transition for you at all to go from banking into mortgages right away, or was it pretty seamless?
So a little bit of both, right? The transition for me was you're at the bank 8 to 5 every day.
Yeah.
In the office, you're working with your people. But in mortgages, if you're not careful, you can get lost with the freedom of schedule that they give you.
Yeah.
So I treated mortgages like the bank schedule still, which is really what actually propelled my career pretty early, was not milking the ability to do what I wanted when I wanted to.
Yep.
And so I would say it transitioned really nicely. And I started by visiting offices, right? That's what I knew was offices.
Yep.
So I started visiting realtor offices every single Thursday. I'd bring flyers, cards, candies. I'd say hello. When you get front desk people to like the conversation with you, it's a little bit easier to get the agents to warm up to you as well.
Got to get those gatekeepers to love you.
Gatekeepers are the key. They know everything about their agents.
They do.
They know people that are producing. They know people that are needing help. They know programs they hear people talking about that they might need more info about.
Yeah.
And chocolate never hurts.
No doubt. Yeah, no, I think everyone loves chocolate, right? That's the way to someone's heart.
Yeah, yes, absolutely.
So you were, you started this kind of, by the way, you brought up a point I think is important, is when you transitioned into this mortgage business, you didn't really change your schedule at all, right? No, and I think a lot of people, as you said, really do struggle with the freedom, whether that be as a real estate agent and maybe for the first time they're getting licensed, they're trying to figure out what is my actual calendar going to be now and how am I going to execute it. Same exact concept, I guess, in lending, right? Or
Yeah,
whatever that
100%.
world is. Like, there's so much power in knowing and having enough discipline. I know one of my mentors actually taught me years ago, because I've been a 1099 independent sales professional since I was 18, right? And so in those earlier years, it was drilled in my brain that was like, you're either going to have the discipline to figure out how to work for yourself and create your own schedule and actually stick to it, or you're not, and you're going to actually work for somebody else who's going to do it and hire you to do the schedule, right?
100%.
And that's so true, right? At its core. And I think the fact that you were able to use what you were kind of used to speaks a lot to why you'd get off to a fast start. That discipline is so critical.
Yeah, I mean, it's really easy to go to the gym at 10 in the afternoon or 10 in the morning. Not that I go to the gym at all, but it's probably easy to go to the gym. But in reality, if you can keep it to your before and after your work hours in the beginning, it's a real big key to getting off the ground. So yeah.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. So things started gaining some momentum and some traction as you were doing these agent pop-ins, it seems like, and being able to kind of like get some key relationships facilitated that way. And then it was just kind of slow and steady and eventually grow. Is that kind of a safe assumption?
Yeah, I feel like I've created like an 8-week program where after about 8 weeks, you can really feel whether you're in with an office or not, whether you're in with the agents with that office or not. So yeah, it just took a lot of maintaining that schedule over and over. I'd go to offices, and then it just propelled from there.
Yep.
Because consistency, right? Persistency and consistency.
And at the time, you were just operating as a solo LO, right?
Oh yeah, I left all responsibility behind as far as management goes with the bank, and that was one of the key things, was just be responsible for myself.
Right.
So I was very lucky when my mentor also allowed me to utilize an assistant. Right, an assistant role is key to your growth, also because it really lets you focus on the things that are going to help you grow your relationships, your partnering with your realtors, and some of the paperwork side. She was really able to take off my plate, which again is what I also contribute to my ability to get off to a really fresh, fast start.
That makes a lot of sense too. So is that where the seed started planting about you wanting to build a team and thinking about now, as we mentioned earlier, JC is a branch manager. So there's some distinctions there between what it's like operating as a branch manager compared to operating as just an individual LO, right? Both have their value and both have specific areas of focus, right, that you have.
100%.
When you got into this industry from a lending perspective, did you always want to go down that road, or did that evolve as well?
Kind of came up over time.
Yeah.
As I became more comfortable in my own role, and as I knew my job a little more, which took years. I stayed in the individual LO role for quite a few years. I think I'm in it for 7 now, roughly.
Okay.
Right at 7 years. I maintained single LO, just do my own thing for many years, and then I grew into a team sales manager where I brought an LO in underneath me, and I thought that at that time I could still maintain my business and provide some insight. Help set up a file. You have a difficult income question. Maybe it's something I've crossed the bridge before. Maybe you need a little motivation to get out there and meet new people. I can provide all that. Mm-hmm. I tell my team, and right now we're a team of, office, right? Mm-hmm. I think it's important for people to have individual identity sometimes. So we don't work it as a team, but we all operate like a team.
Yeah.
But everybody's got their individual ownership of their own brand.
Right.
And so right now, currently in my office, it's 4 LOs and 2 loan officer assistants. And we call them production managers because truly that's what they are. They're helping manage the production. They're not assisting us. They're as important to the team as anybody else. So we like to try to consider them production managers because in reality, they're just as important to the team as anybody else.
Do the 4 LOs, do they take onus and responsibility of their own pipeline and their own deal flow and all of that? Or how much are you as the branch manager also involved with making sure that they have some sort of a pipeline distributed to them?
So, everybody's personality is a little bit different, right? And that's kind of the cool part about this business too, is everybody's personality is different. You get to work with who you want to. My LOs are self-driven, so I don't necessarily have to motivate them to get up and do their job every day. They're really already motivated to that, which is why we work well together. Our team is built around people that are self-motivated. Now, I'm there to assist. Every problem that comes up, you want an idea, you want a thought, you want to run income by me, you have a problem, right? Well, time out, something came up, can you help me? That's when I jump in and give all the guidance and assistance we need. We have meetings with everybody. But to mesh in our team, you really got to be that self-motivator, really build your own pipeline, grow your pipeline. I'm not here to tell you how many times you should call your pipeline. I think that's something that you as your business, which it is your own business, you figure that out. if you have questions, assistance, I give my team ideas. I give them challenges, but I don't require anything because of that. It's your business. You should really own it.
How much of your time now, JC, is spent on that team side, supporting, coaching, working with your guys, working with your team, trying to create a culture, I would imagine, within your organization, versus still doing, LO type responsibilities and securing business and working with buyers and sellers? How does that look like in your normal routine now?
Well, being a producing branch manager, I am still 80-20. I'm in my business 80, and then I assist with my loan officers and the things they need 20.
Okay.
But I have a lot of really good self-sufficient loan officers, so they don't require a lot of my time.
Gotcha.
So production is still my passion.
Okay.
Right? You don't want to lose your relationships. You find LOs or people in the mortgage business that leave production 10 years down the road, probably regretting they left production.
Yeah.
Production is where
So it pays the bills, right?
It pays the bills, but it's your relationships.
Yeah.
I've said it a couple times, but this is the ultimate business of it. You get to work with who you want,
Right.
whether it's your clients, your partners, your vendors. You don't have to work with anybody you don't want to.
Yep.
And so, it's 80-20. So I enjoy my people still. So I don't want to give that up. I don't know if I'll ever really want to give that up.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I think that's kind of how you got introduced to the business, right? And got into the business in the first place. So why would you ever walk away from it knowing that's the core of the entire line of things? Is there anything product specific necessarily, whether it be specific to Cardinal Financial or just maybe even market specific that you think would be worth the audience being more aware of? Anything that you feel like is maybe a misconception out there that you wanted to address that it would be important for people to understand?
Yeah, you know what? Actually, I wanted to use that time today to talk about renovation loans.
Okay.
If you look at the houses that are sitting, the houses that agents have the biggest trouble moving, contracts go under and contracts leave for inspections. I would imagine more so than anything. I don't have a hard fact on that stat, but I would imagine most contracts go under and right back out again during that inspection period for what's on the inspection. Well, our motto at Cardinal is any home, any condition. Because ultimately there's a rental product to fit almost anything that you need to fix within that home. It's an investor buying, you have those products. A second home, you can reno those homes. Primary residence, you even have more options because you can different loan products. Renovation loans are going to be what moves the agent's homes that are sitting. And if you haven't looked at it, then definitely reach out to your loan officer. Give me a call. I love to chat with you. But renovations are going to be how we get these homes up to snuff to sell, because a lot of them are still sitting with some work needing to be done. Roofs, AC, hot water heater. Those are easy peasy. Get them done, no problem.
Yeah. And obviously you provide pretty much any type of loan that's available, right, out there. It's not like you are cookie cuttered into any particular thing.
No.
I think you were saying off camera that's one of the advantages possibly with Cardinal Financial is that you could broker out if need be if there's a product that's not even held within house, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're retail. We have our money. We fund our money. We close the business. We service our loans to a certain percentage of. I don't want to quote it because I don't know exactly, but it's a high percentage we service our loans.
Yeah.
But yes, if I need to find something, I can broker it out. So I can broker out. We have in-house one-time closed construction. So if you have somebody that wants to buy land and build a home, already owns land, wants to build a home, we could take care of that with our construction loans. We have DSCR loans, which are the investment property with no income verification. Anything we need, we can find it. Down payment assistance programs. In the state of Florida, we offer 112, last I looked. Could have tailored back, but some of those are county specific, some are city specific. But Cardinal's taken the time to really go out there and get those programs so we have them to offer when that pops up. You may only do one Pinellas County bond program all year, but it's that one person that needed it, you had it.
Yeah.
And so we really pride ourselves in that too.
How common in your experience are these renovation loans that you're putting through? Is this something that you're doing regularly?
Our team in our office does them, but they're not as regular because agents don't know much about them.
Right.
And there's a little bit of a misconception about them sometimes too. So I think as we can get more word out there with agents that find, okay, why is this home sitting? What can we do? How do we find a buyer to do it and not always put it on our seller? I think it'll become more of a popular product, and it really should become a more popular product.
Yeah, no, it sounds like it. I think, as you just said, it's not something that I feel like is common knowledge, right? Like not a lot of agents even know that product would exist.
It's difficult.
Yeah.
It's not the easiest for the loan officer to walk themselves through. And if you haven't done them, you really don't even know where to start. So in the beginning, to get myself out there, I picked loans that nobody really talked about. You can't really walk into an office and say, I take care of your FHA conventional VA
Exactly.
people because everybody does that.
Exactly.
But when you walk into the office and say, I know bridge loans.
Yeah.
What do you mean you know bridge loans? Nobody knows bridge loans. Not many people take the time to learn bridge loans.
Right.
So I took the time to learn bridge loans, rental loans, everything that nobody else really wanted to talk about. And that's how I utilized the ability to get in those realtor offices and talk and chit chat and not get booted right away because it was different.
Yep.
People are like, what do you mean you do condo hotels? Oh yeah, let's talk about that. So if you take the time to learn what nobody else knows, the rest of it is really kind of just easy. But you'll get people talking to you when you're talking about things that not everybody knows how to do. So as I think agents get more familiar with Reno, you're going to see more and more of them.
Yeah, that's great, man. I think, again, anytime you can differentiate yourself is a win, right? So the ability to elaborate on a product like renovation loans, bridge loans, as you mentioned. I have a passion for real estate investing.
Okay.
And so just the concepts that you just brought up, I know are brought up a lot in the investment world, like the investment circles. The whole bridge loan concept is a pretty popular concept among investors, right?
Absolutely.
But you don't hear that much among traditional, just residential retail real estate. Sure. And so I think it's awesome that you can bring that to the table. Do you work a lot with investors, JC? Is that a part of your business?
I do. I have some realtors that only work investors. So I do a lot of duplex, triplex. People's plan is the BRRRR plan, which is the buy, reno, refi, redo, or whatever the last R says.
Familiar.
And
biggerpockets.com, baby. A little shout out to the blog posts out there. They always talk about the BRRRR method.
I got an agent that's actually one of my agents only does investors, it seems like. And so a lot of the people that he sends me, we talk about it, he says, well, I met the agent on Bigger Pockets.
Yeah.
And so, 100%. I work with investors, work with primary residents. Really, we work with a lot of them. But the investors, I enjoy that part because they have a different mindset.
Totally.
Right? So when you're doing your primary residence person or your first-time home buyer, you have a totally different conversation. Mm-hmm. And that's also the cool part about this business too, right? No conversation's the same.
Right.
Everybody's job is different, income level is different, asset level is different, their plan is different. And ultimately, it keeps the day spicy.
Yeah, man. What do you appreciate most about your position? Is there something that resonates with you the most that you just really enjoy and you find the most fulfilling?
There's a quote that says, if you help enough people get what they want, you get what you want.
Yeah.
I like that quote. I really do, because I feel like that's kind of the day in, day out. The more people you can help, then you get what you want. And so in mortgages, the more people I can help buy their biggest purchase possibly. Mm-hmm. And this might be their biggest purchase now. And then when they upsize in 3 years, call you back, that's their biggest purchase possibly.
Yep.
You help people through their difficultest times. You get divorces. You get people, right? You have different conversations. Husband first, wife next, wife first, husband next. They both got to buy a house. They got to get through selling this house. Those are difficult conversations. Deaths in family. These are all things that cause houses to buy and sell. And so as a lender and realtor, you're with these people throughout those portions. You're almost like part psychologist. Is that the word, right? You walk people through their off a cliff sometimes and, back them up a little bit and say, hey, we got this covered. Let the professionals help you. I enjoy that. I don't know. It's a big thing to do for people. And so you get to be a part of a big part of their life. That probably is the most fulfilling part of my job.
Yeah, I think that mindset of being a consultant is really a common thread among a lot of the top producers that we've interviewed. It's, a lot of people, I think, mistakenly, when they get licensed, we're talking about agents right now, they just think money is going to come pouring in, right? And they don't really understand how positioning yourself as a real consultant is how the money eventually starts pouring in, right? So that people really trust your opinion, trust who you are as a resource and an authority in a particular space. And I'm assuming it's probably the same concept, I would have to imagine, in the lending world too, right? Like you have to be viewed as a true consultant that people can trust.
You're not selling anything.
Yeah.
I'm assisting you in getting what you need, and I happen to know the programs and I run the numbers for you, and I can collect the documents for you. That's all you're doing is you're assisting people. You're not selling people.
Right.
Traditionally in mortgages, they're looking for something, and you're walking them through it. So yes, you're a true consultant when you're not selling them something. You're offering guidance and knowing what you have can fit what they need, and you piece them together. Mm-hmm. And I think I'd pull that all back from banking. Really, people came in asking for one thing, and when you get down to talking with them, you find out that they might need a couple other things other than what they just walked in the bank for. Yeah. And so that's kind of the same in housing.
Yeah, and you never really know what direction that's going to go until you actually take it with that approach, because it's all about being a good listener first, figuring out what the true needs are of that person, not cookie cuttering them or putting them into a box just because you think you've met with this type of person before. Yeah. Right? I mean, that's really where the listening skills come into play. And I find that as a common thread, again, among the successful people that we've got a chance to interview, is really viewing and caring enough that each person's needs are going to be valued so that you can truly serve them, right, at a high level. I think that's huge. So I appreciate you sharing that. JC, is there anything that you, in your time now in lending, do you feel like has been a big challenge for you? Is there a common obstacle that you've had to overcome, or that you see regularly? And it could even be in working with real estate agents, right? Like maybe there's some things that you've noticed over the years that have been challenges, and working with a certain type of agent compared to other agents, best practices possibly even. What are some thoughts that you have in that arena?
Oh, that's a good question. Challenges. Your challenges are clear communication, probably more than anything, because everybody's different.
Yeah.
So your personalities are different. Everybody's personality is different. Your team's personality is different. So I think the biggest challenge is just really being able to work with all the different types of people, whether they're agents or buyers. And then as you grow, right, your growth becomes a challenge because you really maintain your level of service, but while you're growing, you have to maintain that. So you focus some energy on growing, but then you still got to be in what you're doing so it doesn't go, awry. Right. You can't.
You got to that level for a reason because you were providing good service. You can't screw that up, right?
As I try to grow and meet 5 more agents to grow my book of business and grow my referral partners, if while I'm trying to find 5 more people to work with, I don't treat the 15, 20, 30 that work with me regularly just as good as I've always treated them, why would they want to maintain that? So you grow 5 to lose 7 out the back door because you're not doing a good job. So some of the challenges probably in real estate would be is getting your growth without losing what you're good at. And so that's probably the hardest thing to maintain, really.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. And I think a lot of people do struggle with that, of that balance of, and for that reason, some people are afraid to grow, right?
Oh, hands down. It's you think about that stuff.
Yeah.
As you're like the entrepreneurial spirit, when you go to bed at night and you're thinking about loans, you go to sleep. In this business, you go to sleep thinking about inspection reports. You go to bed sleeping, you think about loans, locks, and expirations. So yeah, that is it. You go to bed thinking, did I call everybody back? Mm-hmm. One trick I use for calling back, which might work for some people, is I go to my missed call log, and when I call you back, I delete the red off my phone. So when I scroll my call log, if the red is gone, I've called everybody back from today.
Yeah.
If the red's not gone, then my day is not over. Yeah. So as a tip for this, to make sure you're calling people back and you're not forgetting about your missed calls, go to your missed log, and when you call people back, delete the red. You don't need to know that you missed them if you already called them back.
Yeah.
And so that actually was a real...
It's a good little hack. I like it.
But it helps
I get too much spam on my phone to do that, though.
I kill the spam calls, too, and... T-Mobile's great.
I can't be calling these spammers back, JC. I got a life to live over here. You know what I'm saying?
I'm with you. As soon as you hear beep, you delete.
Yeah, I hear you, man. So good stuff, dude. I appreciate some of the tips already. I think that people have gotten a good insight, hopefully, on just. I think if you're out there and you might want to pick JC's brain on the renovation loans, the bridge loans, there's some differences that you bring to the table there. What to you is like the ideal working a relationship with a agent? Like in your experience, again, what has worked really well in working with a real estate agent? You mentioned communication, so I'm assuming that's a big part of it. But can you give maybe an example of like what that relationship, when it's really working well, what it really looks like versus when it's not? Do you have a distinction there?
You do. And I've found that my best working relationships are the agents do a couple of things, because really what you're trying to do is the agent traditionally, in the most parts, finds a buyer or a seller that turns to a buyer as well. And in our world, a lot of times your agents are what delivers you your leads. You have your circle of influence, you have your returning customers, but your new people, if you're doing it right and you're working with the agents that are out there producing, they're sending you leads.
Yep.
My most productive relationships are 3-way text messages. My agents that understand when they introduce me to a new client, what's better than a 3-way text message? Because you as the agent and the client are going to see my replies. You no longer have to ask your lender, did you talk to Bob? You saw your lender's reply.
Yep.
Business card came over, application link came over, the fact that you were thanking them for the introduction to the client, you love to send some or put some time aside to chat with that client. You let the agent and the client all know in that group message. My most productive relationships do 3-way introduction text messages.
Yep.
And then the second part is all my agents have access to my link, which is just my first and last name, jcsommer.com. And if you just type that out and hit enter and hit apply now, the application comes directly to my laptop. My most productive agents in our working relationship also give out my link to their buyers. A lot of times, your buyer takes your recommendation on who to work with. So if you say, here's the link for the online application, if you want to get jump started, I'll also do that 3-way text message with my lender. A lot of times your clients jump right into that application without even talking to me first. I sometimes end up having to reference back my 3-way text with an online app that came in just because the online app came in and I didn't even recognize the name because my agent has already sent that link.
Yep.
The agent calls me an hour later and says, by the way, Bob Smith's going to call you for an application. Now, wait a minute. I just got a Bob Smith app like 30 minutes ago. I'll go jump on the phone with him right now. And again, before I even talked, that agent got the bulk of the moving the process forward done right there. So those are some tips and tricks that is most productive within me and my agents that we work together.
Cool, man. I think it's awesome. 3-way text. I mean, it's so simple. What I love about both those tips is that they're both simple, right? Very. And anytime you can make the process easy, that's beneficial for everybody. I think unfortunately in this world, we tend to complicate things a lot of times and make it a lot more difficult than it needs to be. And so just breaking down some of the barriers of being able to work together, you know, a 3-way text, of course, couldn't be any easier than that. And then I love the fact that you were able to just simplify your application process to just your name, right? jcsommer.com. Boom. That's it. Just send a link. That's all we need to do. Get the process started. I'm sure it's self-explanatory. We don't have it. Maybe we can even pull it up though on our YouTube channel or something so people can see it. And that's a simple way to just have it be so easily convenient for your agents to just send over a link and get the process started, right?
And once your client's engaged, there's probably got to be some stats out there that once your client's engaged, the amount of people that stay with you as an agent, as a lender, it's got to be higher, right?
For
because
sure.
they're engaged earlier.
Yeah.
It's important for the lender to get their introduction emails out, ask for documents right away.
Yeah.
You tend to build a relationship with people when they feel like they're engaged. So yeah, I do. Me and my group and my agents and my team, we live and die by that.
Yeah, no, it makes a lot of sense, man. How you feeling about the market nowadays? You got any Nostradamus predictions on where things are looking, how it's heading, how you feeling about 2024? Anything that gets you excited about 2024 or even beyond?
You know, all right, so man, if I crystal ball, I'd be...
If we all had it, right?
Yeah, I'd probably be real rich. So 2024...
We only bought Bitcoin back in 2007, huh?
Yeah, you know, yes, I wish. You're passing those things out because nobody believed in them, and next thing you know, you found that you bought a pizza with 10 Bitcoins, and you're like, well, that would have been...
I could have been a multi-billionaire by now.
Yeah, that would have been a house. I do think that... All right, so if you follow rates at all, if you follow what causes rates to go up and down, that's probably the most important thing that agents and lenders need to be doing right now. Mm-hmm. And you see a direct correlation with certain things that go on in the economy that will directly affect rates. I think over the last year, you'll tend to see that rates obviously shot up. We're really looking, the Fed, the people in the industry, everybody's looking at a couple key numbers, which are the inflation numbers, the job numbers. And I think as this year goes on, you're going to see those not be as strong as what they've been, which is going to in turn slowly help us get back to where we are all more comfortable in rates. Because rates don't just affect houses. They affect cars, credit cards, housing affects it, really all of it.
Yeah.
I don't see a plummeting though. I think people need to be careful with that. I see the rates pulling back, but it's going to be slow. Mm-hmm. It's not going to be fast. Yeah. Even when the quarter point happens, you're going to see lenders dropping rates, but it's not going to be off a cliff. It's going to be, they're going to drive them down slow. And even over the last couple of months, you've noticed people went crazy over 3 days because 3 days we had a huge drop, right? Mm-hmm. Over 3 weeks later, it slowly got back all of that we gained in those 3 days.
Right.
So what you're going to find also now is more the ebbs and flows that are traditional in real estate. We've seen nothing but cliffs and I don't know how you define
peaks and valleys.
Peaks and valleys, but there's a lot of peaks and a lot of bottoms, but there's no valleys.
Right.
So you're going to see more of that flow, I think, with rates, even as they climb back. A couple weeks up, a couple weeks down, a couple months up, a couple months down, as it slowly works its way back to more standard. I had the ability to sit and listen to a Fannie Mae economist talk, so that was interesting to hear where they thought that a stable market runs and things like that. I don't want to give a prediction out there because I don't specifically know.
Sure.
But I think that you really start to see real estate moving when your government loans are comfortably in the 5s and your conventionals are low 6s, high 5s. I do think hopefully by years down the road we'll get a little better than that.
You mean those days of like 2 1/4? That's not going to come again.
You probably should plan for no. just game plan for now.
2021, 2020, what was that? Late 2020, right? 2021 days?
Yeah. And I think if you plan for that, you're going to be in for disappointment. So you should plan for 4s and 5s, maybe in some 6s, which we're in now. But I just think that should be what people plan for. And anything better is just going to be a bonus. But it'll be hard to really make your decisions on what you want to do with real estate, hoping for 3% interest rates. That's where a lot of people are going to get stuck. Looking for 3s and just sitting and either not being in, not getting any growth, or being in a house that they don't love because they don't want to move. But probably should plan for those days being gone, which is the best idea because then it's always a benefit when it does.
Yeah, and if you really look at the history of it, it's not like that was the abnormal time. Right? Abnormal. It's not like that was the standard that now we're living in a different time. Like we're actually kind of back to normal now compared to compared to what that was from everything that I've kind of looked at. And I've had a similar conversation with a few other, lenders and also people specifically in investment world. It's like, there's still a lot of money to be had if you understand the game, right? And can play it appropriately. So I think it makes a lot of sense what you're saying. So let's switch gears a little bit, JC, to some personal stuff for people who can just to get to know you a little bit more. I think we've gone through a lot of good stuff regarding the finance world. So, I know you're a family man, right? Married with kids. How old are your kids again?
I have 3 kids. I am married to a beautiful wife, Jennifer, and we've been married going on. Oh gosh, you're gonna kill me. What are we about to be? 3 years now.
3 years married.
I think so. Yeah. All right, good. So we can edit that out if we need to.
Yeah. She'll see the edited version later.
I do have 3 kids. I have a 15-year-old who wrestles in high school. I have an 11-year-old who plays rec baseball locally in Palm Harbor.
You guys live in Palm Harbor, right?
We do. We live right there in Palm Harbor. And I have a 18-month-old.
Well, you're busy.
We are.
You're busy.
I joke with people, and a couple years ago, as me and my wife were talking, and we had the older kids and kind of a little bit more freedom, maybe, and stuff, right? A little bit more self-sufficient. And so I was talking sports cars and condos, and she was talking, well, no, we need one more,
right?
And so
she won,
and I'd never go back, but maybe 10 more years we'll do that sports car condo.
You're heading that direction.
Yeah.
What do you guys love to do for fun? What keeps you busy? Other than just hanging out with the kids.
A lot of times the kids' activity is what keeps you busy.
Right.
We have a lot of great friends though, so we're able to see them when we can and mingle the families together and do things. We built a pool last year, so we're really looking forward to taking advantage of that this summer.
Nice.
At the house.
Nice.
With the weather it's going to be.
Is that a special loan as well? The pool loan?
Yeah, there absolutely is. You can do a lot with that. But that the kids, kids dominate your time.
Right.
5, right?
I do.
4, 5,
I have 5, yes.
Yeah. So
mine are more one right after another. You have a little bit more of a gap there.
Yes.
Even though we just had our baby just turned 1 in January, so that was a 4-year gap between her and my other. Used to be my youngest daughter. Now in the middle there, I guess you would say. So yes, we have 3 girls and 2 boys.
Yeah.
And they're all under 9 years old. So it's crazy.
Yeah, But you mingle, again, it's a relationship business. So you tend to mingle your work and your personal somewhat too. So you see people you work with, you see, you end up, it's a true mingling of your life really when you get work and everything involved. But yeah, kids activities. We love downtown Palm Harbor. We love, going down there to eat and hanging out. And so,
yeah. You play golf at all?
Not as much as I'd like to.
Innisbrook is pretty sweet over there.
It is. I played the island course a couple times.
Yeah.
The last 2 years has been probably tying it with the baby thing there. The last 2 years, I've not golfed as much as I'd like, but I used to get out there.
I can relate to that, my friend.
A couple times a year. Not as much as I'd like, though.
I know it. I do miss it a little bit. I used to try to play at least once a week, and that has not happened for a long time. So
I coached baseball for 3 seasons. I coached the football for a couple seasons, tackle. I did flag football, which was probably my funnest time with some of the kids. My oldest and his friends. So yeah, it's your adult activities turn into your kids' activities.
I totally get it. We had a baseball game last night, actually, in Land O'Lakes. So my 2 boys played Land O'Lakes Little League.
Cool.
And I coached both their teams, actually, as an assistant coach. So we had a game last night. We have 2 games tomorrow. It's just, that's the life, man. I understand it.
I've done the head coach thing, but then for a couple seasons, I'm like, let me just be third coach, right? The least responsibility
A little bit
coach.
easier, yeah.
Yeah, you need somebody to just throw BP for a few, I got you covered.
That's right.
Making the lineup, that's 25 minutes of actually thinking about it. Let me just get the BP when I'm there.
No doubt. It is a lot of fun, though. I enjoy it still. It's gives you flashbacks to your days playing baseball. At least for me, I grew up playing ball as a kid up in Connecticut, and so it's fun to kind of see my boys really enjoying it and doing well with it. So
I will say that the fresh smell of grass on Saturday morning does not change whether you're 15, 14, or you're 38.
No doubt.
Because when you get out there on Saturday, you're like, that is the smell of a Saturday morning at the field.
Yeah, it's special. It is kind of cool. And I know you're pretty integral in your community, right? Like working, like Palm Harbor for you is a home, but you've also built your business brand in that market a little bit, I think. You've sponsored various events for your kids' functions and things of that nature. And so I think that makes a lot of sense too. Like really mingling, as you said, your business with your community.
Yeah, 100%. I sponsor Palm Harbor Panthers football. I sponsor Palm Harbor Little League baseball, which I got to get with John on my banner for this year. I sponsor Palm Harbor High School wrestling. I guess if there's no better place to put your money back than your kids.
Yeah,
and
no doubt.
everybody else's kids in the community, ideally, and then you feel like you really did a little something to put back, right?
Absolutely.
So I enjoy doing our partnership. Right. But I enjoy doing our partnership as much as I enjoy doing those ones too, because I have friends that kids stand next to my banners and they take pictures and they text them to me.
Yep.
Some of them are funnier than others, you know.
I could imagine.
Yeah. Some of them are creative and funny. Some are just more like, hey, I see you every day I walk into this field. And
right.
So I don't know, man, that puts a smile on your face. It's
No
kind of
doubt.
cool, right? And it's the small stuff that's supposed to bring joy to you. So it's I do enjoy being a part of the community. I feel part of the community when I do it.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a lot of great agents that we've interviewed that actually are in that community as well. Palm Harbor has a great Keller Williams office right there. I know off the top of my head some people that crush it in that market. And
Curly 19 right there.
That's right. One of my friends, Jeffrey Borum, little shout out to Jeff. He's also a Palm Harbor resident. I'm sure you know him.
Me and Jeff were just talking on the baseball fields. Opening day Saturday was Little League.
Yes.
So
yeah, I know his sons play ball. That's right.
Yeah, his sons play ball. My son plays ball. So we were chit-chatting over there just on Saturday. I think it was Saturday opening day.
No doubt. Very cool. A couple rapid fire questions, JC. So do you have a favorite book or author or seminar maybe that has made an impact on you professionally or personally?
There's a book called The Millionaire Mind, and there's another book called Who Moved My Cheese. Mm-hmm. And Who Moved My Cheese was one of the first books I actually read in corporate America when I got into it. My then manager recommended
all about priorities, right?
It's priorities and relationship, right? And making an impact.
Yeah.
And if you make an impact with somebody, they remember that. So whether it's the loan or the real estate. So I enjoy both those books. But The Millionaire Mind was another good one, a little bit of a bigger book. Took me some time to cover it, but it was a good book too.
I don't think I've ever read that one. I've read The Secrets of a Millionaire Mind from Harv Eker, which I think is an amazing book. Who wrote Millionaire Mind? Do you know?
I do not know.
Okay. I'll have to check it out. I don't think I've read that one, actually. I love getting book recommendations on this podcast. We try to do that every single time, so it works out well.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you guys follow us on the podcast, you can probably have an endless amount of book recommendations from just following our podcast for sure.
And Who Moved My Cheese is a real easy read.
Yeah, I have read that. It's years ago now. I think it was it Covey who wrote that? I forget the name now, but I've read the book.
Bad with the author names.
Yeah, I have read the book years ago, and it is a great book. I remember from what I remember about it, I remember it being a lot about just the power of like setting clear priorities and understanding what the most important one is to set, and then like as you said, relationships and tying that into the power of priorities as well. So
Yep.
It makes sense. Do you have a favorite movie or TV show?
Well, I've seen. I'm not a big movie person. I obviously got a lot of classics. Maybe I'm an old soul here, but I'll watch Die Hard. I'll watch Lethal Weapon. I'll watch the Beverly Hills Cop.
I thought you were going to go with like
right?
Gone with the Wind or something like that.
Nope. But I do love a good Wolf of Wall Street movie too. So
Okay.
something that ties into the finance, the fun, that part of it. So, but yeah. So my 18-month-old, his favorite movie is Home Alone 1, the 1990
classic.
version. So
Can't go wrong.
if you've never seen an 18-month-old watch the entire Beverly Hills Cop movie with you too, he literally will just hang out with me and watch these old movies. So, but those are I've seen Home Alone in the last 4 or 5 months more times than I can count.
That's funny. It's funny you mentioned The Wolf of Wall Street too. I was literally just watching Jordan Belfort on a YouTube video yesterday.
Okay.
Teaching his straight line selling principles, right? Because actually I've read his book, Straight Line Selling, and it's really a great book just about, the mentality and the psychology and the power of a successful sales process, right?
Yep.
So he does a good job of teaching that, and then he's got content all over YouTube nowadays to be able to share a lot of that stuff. But yeah, that book, that movie was a pretty interesting reenactment of his lifestyle back in those days. But it was definitely a top movie for sure. Do you have a favorite food, JC?
Favorite food? You know, I like a good steak.
Oh, steak guy?
And anybody that makes their steak, cooked more than medium, I like to let them know that they've now ruined their steak when they order it.
Yeah, I agree with that. So if anyone wants to get on your good side, just take you out to Burns and you're good to go.
Just don't order anything more than medium.
Yes,
Just
medium rare. Let's not get crazy here. You got to keep it medium rare. I want to taste the darn thing, right?
I like the medium rare. Nothing over medium rare. You just ruined it.
Yes, I can relate to that as well, for sure. All right, so we'll put a bow on the episode here for you with what I call our legacy question. And this is designed to kind of get people to think about when that day does come and you're kind of looking back on your business and your life and you're sitting on that rocking chair. What do you think would be most important for you? What do you want to be most remembered for when you think about the legacy you'd want to leave?
Oh, man, a legacy question. That's a good one. I think I say what I'm going to do. I do what I say. Mm-hmm. I'm a pretty upfront. My wife says I'm aggressive. I don't like the word aggressive necessarily, but I get excited. Yeah. And then I start talking, and she's like, well, you're just so much for some people sometimes. And I'm like, yeah, sometimes I might be. I'm a little bit aggressive, a little bit exciting. But I really say and tell you how I feel, what I think, and I think that's part of the excitement behind it. I deliver my message very clearly, for the most part, I think, to people. So I think that a legacy question is definitely what you were getting with JC. You knew where you stood. You knew how you worked together. I think that's an important piece of who you are. Mm. And I'm the same person I am at work as I am at home, right? It took me a little bit of time to really learn that, actually. Yeah. And so I think that might be a legacy piece, too, is really, if you're just who you are in life, whether it be home or business, and let it flow together, I'm a firm believer in that. So there's no different side to me necessarily. I'm the guy.
So you're not a Gemini, you're saying, huh?
No. I'm the guy that at work as I am at home. And again, sometimes, like I said, people find that to be a little aggressive, but I'm an exciting kind of guy, I think.
I like it, man. You got to be a straight shooter, right?
You do.
Which is what I wrote down for you. I think JC is just a straight shooter. I think that says a lot about what you can expect, right, when you work with JC. So we're going to put a bow on the episode the way we always do, which is to challenge the audience. If you're watching this live, if you're watching this on any of the podcast platforms that we're on, if you don't already subscribe to us, by the way, just click the button. That way you're notified every time we have a new episode that comes out, which we drop a new episode every Friday. But what is one action step that you can take from this conversation with JC here today that can help move you forward personally or professionally? Maybe you just need to have a conversation, and we didn't mention that, JC, but if someone wants to reach out to you, what's the best way for them to reach you?
Yeah, so the easiest contact for me is my cell phone. It's 727-244-1278. You could text me. You can call me. My website is also just www.jcsommer.com, SOMMER, and that'll take your people right to the application. But my cell phone is by far the best. And in this business, It's 7 days a week.
Yep, that's what you need. And it's Sommer with an O, right? Not a U. Sommer with an O.
With an O.
So we'll have jcsommer.com out there on the description that you guys can click on if you want to. But we talked a lot today about a lot of different things, from the power of renovation loans and bridge loans, and we threw a couple book recommendations out there. JC gave a couple of tips to be able to streamline the process and working with an agent. Something as simple as three-way texting. Something as simple as creating that the application process that he has as a simple link. So a couple of good nuggets there that he threw out. But what is one action step that you can take? Maybe you need to implement some of these simple processes into your routine. Maybe you just need to, again, have a conversation with JC and learn a little bit more about renovation loans or bridge loans, something that's going to help you provide more tools to your customers when you're out there doing your thing. But we have partners like JP who are experts in their field simply because we know that they provide immense value, right, to our audience, and that's what he's here to do. So guys, hope you have a great rest of your day. We will see you, of course, on the next episode of Tampa Bay Real Producers. Stay classy. We'll see you then.